Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. War on drugs and illegal activities. That's an ongoing effort. But what's one of the best ways to stop any activity that's not legal? Take over the source that fuels it. The money, of course. Stick around, as we're going to show you the biggest busts by police ever. Number 10. Alabama biggest cash seizure. Playing dumb doesn't mean that you're actually the innocent one, but this guy here seemed to be unaware of this fact. This incident happened on an ordinary day in Alabama when a state trooper was performing a routine truck investigation along Interstate 65. Then, a truck was stopped for normal checking. The truck driver had no problem with that and allowed them to check out the truck. But once the truck was examined, there were 4 suspicious-looking bags. What was found in those bags? Over $1 million cash. How would a truck driver be having this much money? And if he did, then why did he allow being checked with no problem at all? On further investigation, the truck driver simply said he had no idea about anything at all, but he was taken into custody. This story was made to the news and was highlighted as the biggest drug cash seizure in the state of Alabama. Well, playing dumb just suits kids, not to the people linked with suspicious acts. Number 9. Underground Railroad. Illegal acts need bizarre plans, and some plans fail miserably. Mexican traffickers tried to sneak some drugs into the United States, obviously following an illegal way. The way they chose was to build a tunnel. An 1,800-foot or 548-meter-long tunnel was built underneath Mexico and California, connecting the two without bringing any unwanted attention. But there is always an end to evil. The police followed a suspicious van and stumbled upon this underground passage. The final haul was 40 tons of illegal drugs and with an estimated worth of over $21 million. Number 8. Australian money laundering. Back in the year 2013, Australian Crime Commission got information about some inappropriate money laundering business. To target the people behind these activities, the Commission got in touch with forces such as the Australian Transaction Reports and Analysis Centre, or AUSTRAC, as well as both the state and federal police. The investigation went for a year-long period, and remarkably, the authorities were able to target 128 previously unknown criminals. Not just this, 18 popular syndicated crime organizations were also dissolved, and a large amount of money was seized during the whole process. Surprisingly, over $580 million were seized, with $5.7 million in just one fell swoop. That's quite a lot of money. Australian Crime Commission even claimed to carry out multiple sting operations, which led them to seize criminals and shut down different illegal labs and other activities. Even the professionals were caught eventually. Number 7. Australian $309 million haul. That sounds like quite a big victory, but it required a really long planning and effort. Back in 2009, Australian Federal Police worked on a year-long operation to get to the source of an illegal operation going on in the state. AFP followed a string of trails connecting to further mysteries. AFP designed the whole plan and were the net players of the whole operation. They tracked down the low-level suppliers, ringleaders, and transporters to the kingpin, Pasquale Barbero. Finally, they got their hands on 4.4-ton loads of ecstasy drug supply. We're not going to reveal how these illegal drugs were sneaked into the country premises, but over millions of drug products were recovered from the main source. Australian Police 1, Drug Dealers 0. Number 6. Baltimore biggest drug bust. Police do know how to track down the suspicious people. If you have any doubts about that, well, after knowing about this incident, you're probably going to change your mind. Back in the year 2013, police reopened an investigation on a 53-year-old man by the name of Perry Brown based on confidential information. The police were dubious about him as they thought he might be involved in some non-legal activities, and then began the investigation. The man was monitored, even through a cell phone. Police tracked down every little detail which they found uncertain, and finally they got their hands on something huge. The man was tracked through GPS and was seen in the middle of some conversation with 2 other guys, a 34-year-old guy named Juan Alvera Morales and 41-year-old Alfredo Manuel Narvaez. Law enforcement observed that it wasn't just a chit-chat between old friends. In fact, in a few minutes, the 3 men transfer multiple bags from a truck to a van. these seemed to be bags of drugs. After this, they were followed and caught at Interstate 95, and it was further confirmed by the K-9 unit that the vehicle did have drugs in it. It was not just some little amount, they seized over 90 pounds of white stuff inside those bags, which were estimated to be over $9 million. That's huge. This was the biggest drug bust that Baltimore had ever witnessed. Number 5. World's biggest drug bust. Back in the year 2005, the world's biggest operation took place, at least according to the Colombian authorities. The Colombian police force and navy did wonders when they retrieved an enormous haul of 14 tons of white drugs. This operation was done along the River Mira banks in southern Colombia. This huge amount of drugs was estimated to have a worth of $415 million and belonged to members of the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, known by Spanish initials AUC. For those who don't know, the AUC group is the Colombian paramilitary group. This group was also responsible for the 1997 Mapirapan massacre, in which thousands of people were killed. According to Colombia's National Police Force head named General Jorge Daniel Castro, this was the biggest haul ever seized in the world in a single operation, in a single day, and in a single place. Number 4. Millions seized in Edmonton. Back in the year 2014, Edmonton police did the biggest operation. They were able to perform 6 drug busts, and on the basis of obtained intelligence, this linked them to arrest 12 drug traffickers. Obviously, with criminals, the filthy money comes as well. As a result of this complex operation, police were able to confiscate $800,000. This made it into the news as the largest seizure of cash in the city to date. Well, this certainly was one, but here the money wasn't all dirty. The police announced that a major part of the seized money was to be given to those people who were the victims of crimes done by drug dealers. Number 3. Fall of TRANQUILANDIA. Even the plans of the greatest of drug kingpins result in losses, such as the case with Pablo Escobar and 14 tons of his white stuff. Half of his total drug supply was supplied to the United States, and this large amount came under suspicion of the DEA. The authorities got into action, and using satellite tracking devices, they were able to track where the material was being transported. As a result, DEA hunts down an enormous amount of drugs at the secret hidden lab of Escobar, TRANQUILANDIA. The lab was shut down, but Escobar was able to hide for the next 9 long years. But in the end, his death was at the hands of a special Colombian police task force. And now let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. Number 2. The subscriber's pick. Our subscriber picture today shows money seizure by police. There can be seen cash-filled bags, suitcases, boxes, and whatever else. This incident is not connected with any drug dealers or other wanted criminals, but this one is linked with a Brazilian ex-minister. This picture is of an apartment which, according to investigators, was said to be used by a Brazilian former cabinet minister named Gedel Vieira Lima. Police found $16 million in the flat in the city of Salvador. This cash seizure was part of a police operation named Lost Treasure. Mr. Vieira Lima was one of President Michel Temer's former cabinet members and was arrested as part of a corruption investigation into a bank controlled by the government. He was even accused by another former minister of pressuring him to approve a property investment. According to the Brazilian police, this was the biggest ever seizure of cash. Number 1. Vancouver Island. This one is really going to leave you in surprise. Back in the year 2012, police suspected a man near the Vancouver Island harbor. The reason being, the man dumped a suitcase in the water after he saw the police nearby. The man was arrested. Police made many attempts to get their hands on that waterlogged suitcase and finally recovered it. After that bag was taken into possession, they finally came to know why the man dumped it over in the first place. The suitcase contained over $2.6 million. This amount of money being obtained from a man. Well, this made up to be the largest seizure of money in Canadian history. And that concludes our list of biggest busts by police ever. Which one do you think was the most planned and impressive seizure of all? Comment down below to let us know. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with our latest videos. We'll see you next time.